This video will explain how to use the Video Physics app to complete the graph matching lab. When you first open the app, you should see this screen. To start, we'll hit the plus sign in the upper left-hand corner. We can take a video through the app by clicking Take Video, or by taking the video through the iPad camera app and clicking Choose Existing before selecting the video from the camera roll. You can choose to allow the app to record sound or not. It doesn't really matter, as we only care about the video. I'm going to use a sample video for this tutorial, though the steps remain the same. However you record your video, you need to ensure three things in order to make the tracking process easy on yourself. First, you should have a clean background. It's best if this is a solid light color, but as long as your moving object stands out against the background, you'll be okay. Second, you need to ensure that the entire motion is in frame. In this sample video of a man shooting a basketball, we can see that while the ball gets very close to the top of the frame, it does not leave it. Third, and most importantly, you need to have something in frame that you know the size of absolutely. In this video, you can see a meter stick laid on the ground along the sidewalk. It does not matter how big the object is, though it is best if the object is stationary. A fourth thing I would recommend is to ensure that the camera does not move during the process of filming. Small movements, such as a camera person's natural sway, shouldn't negatively impact your results. But a camera person who moves significantly can skew your data, especially if they move toward or away from the subject. Once we have our video loaded into the app, we need to do two things before we start tracking our object. We need to set our origin and scale. In the center of the screen, just below the title, we click the Origin and Scale button. The Origin tool has a large circle with a smaller circle on each axis. For some videos, it's important where we set this point, such as on the basketball in the man's hand here, while for some videos it will be less important and we can set it wherever we like. The Scale tool is two circles connected by a single line. We can move each circle independently. This is where the object with a known size is important. I put one circle on one end of the object and the other circle on the other end. It doesn't need to be perfect, but the closer we get, the better our results will be. With the origin and scale set, we click on points back at the top. In the bottom right-hand corner, you may have noticed a button that says Track. We do not want to use this button. While auto-tracking would be super nice, unless we have absolutely ideal circumstances, it tends to perform very badly. Instead, we want to use our best tools, our eyes, to track the object manually. To do so, take the crosshair tool, set the size of the object with the slider on the left, and place the central dot on the object we want to track. For the sample video I'm using, this is easy as it's just a basketball. For your videos, it's a bit more complicated since you're tracking a walking person. I would recommend tracking your target's head, shoulders, or hips, as these parts of the body move the least while walking. To set our first point, we click once in the center of the crosshair. You might not have noticed it on that first frame, but when I clicked, the video advanced one frame and the ball is now slightly outside the circle I placed around it. Since the ball has now moved, I recenter the crosshair and click again. Again, the ball moves, I shift the crosshair and click, and rinse and repeat this process until the entire motion has been tracked. If I make a mistake, I can delete the offending data point by moving the crosshair to the side. clicking on the data point, and selecting Delete. If I select all before hitting Delete, I can start over completely. Once I've completed the tracking of my object, I want to send the data to be graphed. VideoPhysics does have a built-in graphing option, but Graphical has more powerful analysis tools, so I want to send the data to that app instead. To do so, I clicked the Send button in the upper right and select Logger Pro Graphical GW file. Somewhere in here you should find the Graphical app as an option. For my iPad, I have to select Open In, More, and Copy to Graphical GW. Doing this should open the Graphical app. You will see a distance versus time graph on top and a velocity versus time graph on the bottom. Both of these graphs should have both X and Y data, as you can see here. My object moved in both the X and the Y, but yours should have moved in only the X. To get rid of the Y data, which is irrelevant to us, we click on the Y axis on the far left, uncheck the Y option, and we are left with only the X data. Do this for both graphs and you can start to analyze them for your lab.